Let's proceed further. So you see, in single column cash book, that is a simple cash book, we had one amount column on the receipt side as well as the payment side where we recorded the amount. Now we'll see two column cash book wherein there will be two amount columns on receipt side as well as on the payment side. One for the cash amount and the second column for bank. Similarly, on the payment side, cash column and bank column. Now in two column cash book, as we saw, the book has cash column and bank column on debit side, that is the receipt side, as well as on the payment side. The amount of cash transaction is recorded in the cash column. If the amount is received in cash, then it will be recorded in the cash column on the receipt side. And if the amount for any expenses or for a purchase of good is paid in cash, it will be recorded in the cash column. On the payment side, bank transaction, that is, if any amount is received by cross check, then it will be recorded in the bank column on the receipt side. And if you have paid any expenses or if you have paid for any goods by check, then this will be recorded on the payment side in the bank column. So the actual format of two column cash book will be like this. On the receipt side, date, then receipts column, we will be writing the respective account, receipt number, ledger folio, and then the two amount column, that is cash and bank. Similarly, on the payment side, date, payment, voucher number, ledger folio, cash amount column and bank amount column. Now when you record entries in two column cash book, it will look like this. Now if you see the ledger folio column, you can see alphabet C is written there. Now the C stands for contra entry. Whenever cash is deposited in the bank or whenever amount is withdrawn from the bank, there's an entry in the cash as well as bank. So when we record the entries on the both sides are called as contra entries. You'll be able to understand all this much better when we solve few sums in this two column cash book. Further, let's understand petty cash book. A petty cash book is a record of all the petty expenses. In large organizations, it is not possible for the main cashier to handle all the cash transactions. So, the accounting work is further divided. That is, all the petty expenses, that is the small expenditures, are recorded separately in petty cash book. Now, along with the small cash expenses, even certain petty incomes like amount received on sale of newspaper or amount received on sale of small scraps is also recorded here. And the person maintaining petty cash book is called as a petty cashier. Now, at the beginning of the month, the main cashier will hand over a certain amount to the petty cashier, and the petty cashier will look after all the expenses, and at the end of each month, the petty cashier will give the details of all the expenditures to the main cashier, settle the accounts, and then take advance for the next month's petty expenses. Now, in petty cash book, we have simple petty cash book and analytical or columnar petty cash book. The simple petty cash book will be like this, wherein we have amount received column on the left hand side and total amount paid on the right hand side. And we just have one single particular column where we write the account head of the expenditure incurred. So we write the date, then the account head, and if it is an expenses paid, then the amount will be written in the right hand side amount paid column. And if we are receiving an amount, like for example for the sale of old newspaper, then that amount which is received is written on the amount receipt column. Then we close the account and we find out the closing balance. Now students, normally we maintain analytical or columnar petty cash book. So this is the format for analytical or columnar petty cash book. So the columns here are amount received, cash book folio, that is a page number of the cash book where this amount is recorded. Then the date column, particular column where we have to write the account heads, voucher number, Then we have a total amount column. Till here these columns are same like simple petty cash book. Now here further we have separate columns for different heads. So there's printing and stationery, postage, carriage, traveling expenses, miscellaneous expenses. So a separate column is prepared for each expenditure. Now when we make the entry, we first write the amount of that expenditure in total amount column, and then we again write that amount in the respective head. Here again we have to find out the balancing figure. This you'll be able to understand when we actually solve the sum practically. I'm sure you have understood the specimen and format of these cash books. Just go through the specimens and formats what we have learned, which will help you to gain understanding, and you'll be able to understand the problems that we'll be solving later on. That's all for today. Thank you.